Why do modern fruits and vegetables look and taste so different from their wild ancestors? And what caused this change to occur? Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, modern fruits and vegetables, they have evolved over time. For example, let me put something on the screen. I mean, there is something called the giant red banana. Check it out. So, the fruits that we are aware of come in a variety of different cultivars and all that. Look at this thing, for example. This is called a casa banana. Look at it. Casa banana. And that looks quite different from the bananas that we are familiar with, but in yet it is a kind of banana. But it's not something that we really use or are even much aware of. And when it comes to the bananas, the ancestor of the banana plant or the banana fruit was very different from the banana fruit that we are familiar with. It was much smaller and it had large seeds and it had very little edible flesh and all that. So it all happened through selective cultivation. When our ancestors thousands of years ago discovered that certain plants have some good qualities and they are good candidates for food, then they started cultivating them and they started selectively breeding them, just like we have bred various breeds of dogs. I mean, if you look at dogs, the dogs come in so many shapes and sizes. Some don't even look like dogs. I mean, their wolf ancestors would be, I would say, ashamed to imagine that these are their descendants. Those poodles and those chihuahuas and pomeranians and whatnot, those toy looking like nude what sausage dogs or whatever. I mean, it's hard to imagine that these are descended from wolves, right? But that's the case. So that's what humans are capable of. Over time, we can create various breeds of plants, animals, vegetables, fruits, whatever, as per our requirements and our tastes. So that's what we've done. And obviously, everything evolves over time. If you look at Homo sapiens, the archaic Homo sapiens from Jebel Irhoud in North Africa from 400,000 years ago, I mean, they are anatomically modern humans. They have the same skeletal structure as you and me, essentially, but their facial features are a little more primitive and with the little larger eye ridges and slightly more, I don't know, different kind of facial characteristics and all that. uh, so evolution happens over time. It happens naturally, and when the human beings get involved, then evolution can be accelerated by selective breeding. So overall, that's why things change. That's why fruits have evolved and vegetables have evolved, especially those that we humans have been interested in. And then you have things like what the green revolution that happened in India, in which certain cultivars of wheat, certain cultivars of rice were prioritized over everything else. That kind of stunted the natural diversity of various cereals in the country. It kind of put the millets, etc., on the back foot. It almost made them obsolete. Now they're making a comeback. So yeah, that's how it goes. It's all about choices that humans make, which has a long term lasting and very very pronounced impact on the way the ecosystem, the environment evolves. So that's why modern fruits and vegetables look and taste different from their wild ancestors. I mean, wheat. Think about wheat. Wheat is a grass. It's a form of grass. Sugarcane is a form of grass, but we selected these plants for certain properties and we bred them, and that's how. If you look at wild wheat, which still exists in some parts of the world, it looks very different from the wheat that we are familiar with. And similarly, wild sugarcane would be much thinner and shorter than the typical sugarcane that we have in the fields for cultivation. So it's because of selective breeding done by humans that all these changes have happened.